All right. Hey Ryan, how's it going? What I'm doing here. I'll follow stop signs here. Just going to spread some lime in this final field. I'm doing good. Nice relaxing Saturday. Great day to play some farm sim. I forgot where I was going. I think I gotta do this field right here. Yes, I do. Set my GPS up. Yes, this spreader was just released this week. Angry American modding, I believe. All right. Yeah, I was using a different version of it before, and it was wasn't as good, lower quality, but Angry American did a great job on this one. Textures are a lot nicer looking, the model's a little bit better. Let me know if the sound's alright. I think it should be good, but let me know if I need to be a little bit quieter, or if the gameplay needs to be a little bit quieter. I can adjust all that, so I can't really tell. I'll be just doing some realistic gameplay today. Skip every other one. Hello, Nate. Hey, Drew. Yeah, one of the originals. I see you around the community a lot, though. Yeah, I agree. I was looking for one for a while, and the one that was released wasn't very good quality, like I said. So I'm glad that you got a better looking one now. Gameplay down as much? Okay. I'll adjust that real quick at the end of this row. Not yet, Drew. I don't know. I don't have a lot of viewers yet. Maybe once it gets a little more chaotic here, I will. Park here for a second. Adjust the sound. Ooh, almost stalled her out. Let me know if that sounds better. Can you guys hear me all right now? I turned the gameplay down a little bit. Thanks, Drew. It means a lot when you hearing that. You know, I'm glad to know that I make an impact on people and help them enjoy this game more. It's worth it. Love this game. Awesome. We're getting into this head tracking thing lately, and I actually kind of really like it. Definitely makes you feel more immersed in it. I've been really enjoying the slower gameplay, and I don't know about that. I'd like to stay humble. I don't think I need that many more followers, but you know. Glad, good to see them making an impact anyway. I'm glad I'm helping out the console players too, because I was a console player once. Know what it's like not having mods. Plus, making stuff for console kind of forces me to make stuff higher quality and more optimized. So it's kind of a challenge in a way that I like taking on. FS22. So far, can't say that I'm super excited about it. I'm looking forward to the performance improvements that they're switching to DX12. Heard that, so having a better CPU is going to actually make a difference now. Because currently the game does not utilize the entire CPU if you have more than one core, so performance-wise, I'm looking forward to it, but gameplay-wise, it doesn't seem like it's going to be a whole lot different. I'm interested to see, as I'm not really into the whole production plants things, but we'll see. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll like it when it actually comes out, but at the moment, mainly just looking forward to the performance. No, I wish Giants would make some, or give some information about it. I wish they would let modders start modding for it early. Even, I mean, we can technically, but it depends on how easy it is going to be to convert. But so far, it seems like it should be pretty easy to convert mods over. Now, I mean, the biggest leap from 17 to 19 was all the textures, because they used a new texture system in 19. But if they're not using it, I mean, if they're not changing a whole lot about that, then I think mods should be pretty easy to convert. From what I heard, it should be from like what FS15 to FS17 conversion was like. I wasn't around during those times, so I really don't know, but hoping that it's going to be easy so I can quickly convert all my mods over. Yeah, I love those chem tanks too, but don't really have a use for them yet on this save. Thanks, Nate. I should have another trailer coming out in the future sometime. I might show that on stream eventually when I get into modding it again, but hopefully that one's you're gonna like that one even better. Should have all the same features pretty much, and even more. So a little bit higher quality. I saw that they started, I mean, they released 82 Studios trailer that has like a very unrealistic capacity. I'm surprised that they allowed that kind of stuff. I am out of lime. Because they gave me trouble on my chem tanks even. They said that they were too small to hold the amount that they held, so I had to increase the scale. And I don't really like how big they are now. But it's kind of frustrating seeing that they can just allow bigger capacities when they don't hold the same standards for everybody. But it's cool to see that they're allowing it now, because I know console players are always limited on what they can use, and it's good to see that they'd allow it now. But I might update my chem tanks to be smaller, because they're kind of big now. I'm playing on Mercer County right now. I believe it's not on console. I think it's a PC only map by MRG. I think. The new trailer, I'm probably going to make it under my own brand, yeah. Now that I have one, finally got it, my quote-unquote brand on console, yeah, I'll probably start, I'll probably upload the trailer under that brand. It is based off of the East Genesis trailers. But yeah, since East isn't a licensed brand, I'll have to make it my own. I've never considered hay equipment, making it anyway. I mean, I use it in some of my maps. I don't really do a whole lot of the small acres hay farming. Usually if I do hay and silage, it's usually large scale with the crone choppers and stuff. But so I don't really enjoy using the hay equipment as much. So I know there is quite a bit of hay equipment, just not for consoles. Like you said, there's a lot on PC that I could get. Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Ryan. There, it's makes it a completely new game, switching to consoles or switching to PCs from consoles. It's like just graphics wise, mods wise, it's a completely different game. The ability to edit anything how you please. It's true, the sky is the limit for your own creation, especially on PC. I mean, you can edit anything how you really want it on PC. I even do that for like this spreader. I didn't edit this one yet, but my other one that I was using, I edited it to hold like 2,000 more liters just for convenience purposes. I don't like having to fill up every 10 minutes like I am now, but almost done spreading lime for this season, so maybe I'll change it for next season. A little bit more. There we go. Uh-oh, am I all out of lime? Might be. I think I am. Might have to go get more. Yeah, it's good to be back streaming. I thought about it for a while if I was actually gonna want to do it again or not, and you know, I had fun doing it before, interacting with followers, and it's a lot of fun. Makes me enjoy the game more. Oops, I have to change my control settings here real quick. Yeah, I was debating whether or not I actually wanted to start streaming again or not. Figured I'd try again. And I decided that I know streaming on Facebook is nice. That way, literally everyone that follows me gets to see it. But I know that there's some people that don't really care for streaming, so that's kind of why I decided to move towards YouTube, different streaming platform in general, just so I can separate the two and I don't spam people with notifications when I go live. And this way, that anybody who wants to come watch the streams can make it a point to come watch the streams, and if people don't want to see it, then they don't want to see it. I know some people just want mods, and that's fine. So. And this gameplay might not be for some people either. I know some people like the unrealistic gameplay and stuff, but I've always been a realistic type person when it comes to this game. Like simulating the real thing. I worked on a farm for a few years back in high school and was around farming for most of my life, just with my uncles and stuff, so it makes me nostalgic in a way. Actually, what I'm doing right here is what I did for about 3 years, which is drive truck. Got real used to this kind of view. Oops. Invisible lime. It's called Bluetooth lime. Just flies into your truck. Hey Lane, doing good. So it's a great Saturday just to play some farming simulator. Yeah, exactly. Like there's a lot of people that do the unrealistic farming. There's a lot of options if you want to see that kind of stuff. And I like to work. I just like working my way up, really. Like I eventually can get to the big equipment. I'm not going to do any like fast farming or anything. But I like the satisfaction of working your way up from smaller equipment. I don't necessarily like the grind, so I tend to speed it up a little bit. So I don't have a whole lot of time just to sit and play, but I definitely don't understand. I don't understand as much the fun in fast farming. I guess I just have trouble seeing the fun in it. I don't know. Hoping this is enough lime to finish that field. If not, I'll have to get some more. Like I definitely get driving big equipment. That's a lot of fun. I don't like just jumping to big equipment because then it kind of defeats the purpose of the game, in my opinion. Which is working your way up, making decisions, buying new equipment, buying new land, kind of just taking the most efficient path to have the big equipment, and then once you have all the big equipment, I don't know. This seems like there's no goal after that. Just, I guess that's what I'm. One of my things is I need to have some kind of goal, I guess. Something I'm working towards. Fill her up. That'll do. Yeah, I don't get it either. I mean, it's kind of, it's kind of fun, I guess, for a little bit, but like after a little while, you're just, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense on why it's fun. It's cool to take in that much corn all at once or something, but I don't know. It's goofy and funny, so if that's what you're going for, then perfect, I guess. But if not, then not sure how it's fun. I don't know many YouTubers that do like realistic gameplay, kind of like this. I see a lot of, there's a lot of YouTubers that just always play just like this, looking at the back of the tractor the whole time. I don't know. I don't really find that fun to watch. I like getting like the cinematic angles. First person, I'm really into driving in first person. That's why I really like the head tracking, being able to like move around the cabin a little bit and looking at things, and it's kind of immersive. I don't know why I look both ways. There's no traffic, but hey, playing realistically. Yeah, Ryan, that's exactly right. And a lot of times I don't make it to the big equipment because I get burnt out on that map or whatever, but it's the climb, right? Every once in a while, I mean, I have a save on the map Seneca County that I was playing on for a long time, and that one I think I have like 260 hours on the map. And that one I have big equipment by now. But it gets to a point because the game is so unoptimized that once I start getting that much equipment or getting more and more equipment, the game lags a bit more, and it's hard to play at low frames. I really just can't do it. So it kind of pushes me away from continuing to play on that map just because if I get near all my equipment, I just go down to like 15, 20 frames, and it's just not fun. It just ruins it for me in a way. Yeah, you're right. I didn't use my blinker. Good thing I didn't get into an accident. I had my 4-ways on though, so I guess that's something. I'll stall my tractor out here yet. I also love playing just with the HUD off too, being able to have a clear view of everything. Another huge reason to switch to PC is shaders. You guys can probably tell, but pretty big difference. Just so plain, basic looking. Shadows are not actually shadows. This GPS mod's a lifesaver too. Don't have to worry about driving in straight lines. No one likes doing that. Thanks, James. Appreciate it. I'm excited to start this channel. Hopefully I actually end up streaming more than I think I will. It's a lot of fun interacting with people. Just gotta get going. Yeah, I don't catch up to Mr. Sealy P. Is that what you're saying? I don't think so. Isn't he? I think he's one of the biggest farming sim YouTubers, isn't he? I don't really pay a whole lot of attention to that, but you put your Polish chem tanks, it would have passed first time. Saying if I put there are European tanks, you say they would have passed first time? Is that what you're saying? Perhaps. I sure hope so. I sure hope that FS22 gives console players the ability to put hazards on. It's pretty ridiculous that you can't right now. I always thought that was an error on Giant's part, but apparently they just don't have enough button combinations to add it or something. Yeah, that's why I thought Mr. CLP is like the godfather. Godfather of farm sim. Been around for a while. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get that many. My modding Facebook page only has like 12,000 likes / follows, so I don't think I'm gonna get 50,000 subscribers unless I do something really special here, which maybe I will. I don't know. I'm not much of a content creator though. I don't really like doing things for. It's hard. A lot of the farm sim player base is younger kids too, and that love like the goofy stuff, like unrealistic gameplay and stuff. And I'm not going to do that, so I feel like it'd be hard for me to get that many subscribers. But I'll just keep doing with my doing what I'm doing and see how it goes. Oh yeah, I guess if you use a side panel on consoles, you can turn the blinkers on. Or the hazards on. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying, Nate. Yeah, like small Polish 3-meter cultivator, instant pass, no errors. Yeah, KarlFarms is a good one. I actually watched some of his stuff a little bit. Definitely more American farming and interesting content. Talks about what he's doing a lot. And he's a pretty good one. One of the more interesting ones in my opinion. Time to cultivate that last field, and then it's planting. Actually, no, I think I have 2 fields to cultivate. I tend to play where I have to cultivate my fields before I plant them, just because that's how things are done around the area I live. We don't do a whole lot of no-till. So I really don't like doing the no-till. I'm all done with lime. I probably don't need to park this under this. I'll park it here for now, though. Alright, put that up. I also love interactive controls. You can't tell. Got my planter kind of all ready to go in here. Got full of seed, ready to plant. I don't have a whole lot of equipment yet, but I'm just kind of starting off in this map, so. Got my old 8R here. 8030 series. If anyone asks, no, this is not the new version that was just released like today. This is JHG's. Good old JHG. My head's set up here. There we go. This is Mercer County. Mercer. Actually, I gotta go the other way because my field is in the back. There you go, Ryan. Ryan has it in chat. It's a pretty standard. I mean, it's almost completely flat, which is fine for me. That's what I'm used to around where I live. So I'm not used to mountains and not a lot of hills anyway. There's some areas that have hills, but I don't mind hills. Usually on a map, I kind of like them, but it's really hard for me to choose a map. I'm really picky when it comes to maps. Alright, got this field started. Yeah, I have to agree, James. His mods aren't bad if he wasn't such a... I want to call names, but... arrogant? I don't know. Is that the right term? I'm gonna have to bring up my... my GPS set up here. There we go. Yeah, he gets grief. Like I said, he makes good mods for the most part. I've always liked his mods. He just comes across so arrogant, it seems, and it's kind of just... it's hard to like him when the things he says on Facebook, and there's grief between him and custom modding and drama. This is just drama. And I don't like getting into any drama. But he always claims all the ideas are his and this and that, and he's not very humble, to say the least. So it's hard to like him as a person. I think it's called disrupting. Yeah, modding is tough though. That's for sure. Especially getting started. Getting started modding was very difficult. There wasn't a lot of information out when I first started, and it's a lot of learning on your own, trial and error, frustration, a lot of it. For sure, I agree. I don't like getting too involved in the drama. There seems to be a lot of it. I definitely stay out of it as much as I possibly can. So I have better things to worry about in life. This is just my hobby, and I don't feel like getting too into it, really. Yeah, YouTube videos is probably the best way to learn now. I mean, like I said, when I first started, there wasn't a whole lot of information, especially because the FS19 modding has changed a bit. And so when I first started modding at the very beginning of the 19's release, so didn't have a whole lot of information to go off of. A lot of people, when they first start modding, the problem is they start off too big. Like when I first started dabbling with modding, I was literally just changing wheel configurations on the Magnum and started doing stuff, adding little things here and there, learning how it all works, and slowly got better and better. I agree. I hope we do see more American-style equipment in the next game. Seems like from the pictures we got so far, they're trying at least. They've seen that modders are actually doing the work for them, creating the US style equipment, adding it as an option, or just creating whole new versions in general. I don't really like when modders separate the EU and US versions. Usually there's not that many differences, and it's really easy to just combine them into one. I really don't understand why modders don't always do that. I suppose on ModHub you can get perhaps more downloads since if they want more than one version, but I'm gonna hit a tree. Did I make very big headlands in this pass? All is good. You heard the name Steenkamp? Steenkamp? Right, yeah. The EU is quite a bit different, but like you can make all that stuff an option, but you should just let the players choose whether or not they want the US version or not. US or EU. I know, I mean, so far in all FS games, there's only been the EU version on the official or in the official game. So it'd be really nice to see them add the US versions as options in the store configs. Steenkamp, yeah, I think he stopped modding after the whole 3D track fiasco, I believe. I was in contact with him around that time, so I also had the 3D tracks on my Magnums. Oops. There we go. Yeah, the 3D track whole situation is now blown over. I mean, I still don't get any compensation for downloads on ModHub for my Magnums that had 3D tracks. So anybody that had 3D tracks on their mods no longer get compensation, the very, very small amount you get for each download, because anything that Giants either took off or, I mean, my Magnum's name didn't even get taken off the ModHub, but anything that had 3D tracks on them before they no longer allow the compensation for them, which is kind of frustrating. But yeah, the whole 3D track situation is done now. That Paint a Farm came out with the new track array tool, so you can create any shape you want. I'm working on updating all the Steiger series with 3D tracks. Currently, pretty much done for the most part. The PC version anyway. I just have to transfer it all to the console version and. It shouldn't really make the file too big. I mean, there shouldn't be that many differences. There's not that many differences on most tractors between the EU and US versions that it's going to cause the files to be too big. I never had that issue with any of the tractors I've worked on. I mean, it's usually subtle things like wheel configurations, extremity lights, the warning signs. Simple things. Sometimes engine configurations are labeled different depending on the region. Beacon lights. Like I said, the 3-point linkage. The rear hitch. There's little things. There's just subtle things, you know. Fenders even sometimes. But wheel options is one of the biggest things. US and EU wheels are very different for the most part. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be starting. I'm going to try to upload videos of new mods that are coming out on this channel. I'll probably just try to stick to uploading them here, and it might be just simple early previews, or even in my live streams like this, I'll probably show off new mods that I'm working on. That's kind of what I had going before. Is when I live stream, it was like a year ago or so. I was live streaming, and I would show off mods that I'm working on. And I was even live streaming some modding gameplay too. So probably end up doing that too. I'm definitely not modding as much as recently, but I'm planning to start getting back into it. With FS22 coming out, I probably won't be taking on any more new projects. I'm just updating my current mods and get ready to go full force when it comes to November. .80-inch track spacing, okay. You don't go much wider than that, I'm guessing. Yeah, that's one thing is in the U.S. you see a lot of row crop duals, and I don't think EU sees any of those, from what I have seen anyway. So usually, if you're running duals, it's heavy, fat tires, floater tires. This is not my tractor mod. This is, well, actually I modified the sounds. These are my custom sounds from, I think they're 7R sounds, and I modified them to sound a little bit better. So the sounds are mine. The tractor in itself is JHHG's. Yeah, the clamp-on duals, and that's one thing you don't see like any of in the U.S. is clamp-on duals. Yep, for the potato planting, yeah. I've seen those too as well. It's my pleasure, driver. It's cool to see glad you're using my mods on in your content as well. Showing them off for me. What kind of gameplay do you do, driver? Not even sure what you mean by flange and bar axles. What's the difference between those two? Yeah, Phil, I use Blender for most of my modeling. I do have Maya only for skinning hoses. That's the only reason I've used it. Oh, I see what you're saying, James, yeah. To pretty much flip them around, depending on how wide you want the tires to be. That makes sense. Yeah, Phil, I find Blender a lot easier to understand for the basic user when it comes to modeling. I definitely took a while for me to learn Blender. So I was used to like different kinds of 3D modeling software that I used in school, but nothing like Blender. So it took me a little while to get used to Blender, and now I'm slowly getting better and better at it. But it's definitely a lot easier to learn than Maya. Using Maya, I mean, it would just be a more learning. It's just quite a bit different program, it seems, and so if you learned it on Maya, then you probably get it pretty quick too. But Blender's free, it's easy. You can do most things on Blender that you can on Maya. Maya might, once you get used to it, might be a lot easier, but I'm not sure. Just Maya costs money, and doesn't necessarily cost money, but it's harder to get for free. I guess if that's the right term for it. Using a student license or a trials or whatever. But Blender is completely free, hassle-free. And there's lots of videos on it. There's definitely many tutorial videos on Blender. It's a lot easier platform to learn on. You can see my ripper ripping up the ground in my soil seed bed. What do you want to call it? The word's not coming to my mind right now. Seed bed leveler, whatever you want to call it. You've made one opening. Oh, you've made the opening gate in Blender. So you have it's a mod on Farming Sim. Nice. It is really cool to model things completely from scratch. Like the chem tanks. Those chem tanks were my first mod that I've completely modeled. Like I started off with nothing and worked up to the full model, in-gamed it, and got it on console, so. Yeah, seedbed finisher is probably the right word. I know it's called something. Something like that, anyway. Definitely, it's definitely fun to do it. It is hard. That's no doubt. Oops, whoops, wrong button. Yeah, and that's what I find hard is like getting the scale down. It's always I always need a reference. I'm gonna do something from scratch, and it just there's modeling techniques that make the models look nicer that I'm not really good at yet, and it gets very technical with all the vertices, having them, making sure there's not like polygons with that don't have matching vertices, and it gets complicated to make nice quality, good-looking models that don't have normal map issues. And normal maps are really one of my weaknesses. I'm starting to learn how to do normal maps now. So for the new 3D tracks, with the new 3D track system, I'm updating my tracks on my Steigers and adding normal maps to them, and so this pretty much allows them to look nicer with a low poly count. It's definitely a huge learning curve there that I'm finally getting into after almost 3 years of modding. 2.5, I guess. I'm definitely only good at simple geometry at the moment too. Like, I'm not very good at curves, and like I said, there's just a lot of techniques I'm not really good at yet. Don't know how to do. Yeah, I wouldn't say I would be the best person to make a video on it yet, because I'm just learning it myself. The normal maps, spec maps, are actually pretty easy to do now. I got the specular maps down. That's done in a different program. So once you have the whole model, you can put it into a program called Substance Painter. And there's a learning curve to that program too. There are tutorials on that allow you to make the dirt maps and the wear maps. And I finally got that system down pretty good now. Normal maps though, still learning that. Definitely couldn't make a nice video on it because I know very little about it so far. No, the AFS Connect Magnum, I made some of the parts, but most of the interior and the hood was modeled by either SID modding, or why can't I think of the name? Julian F modding. No, Julian's still making. They're both making mods still in the community, but I actually didn't do. I did very little modeling on that. I did all the in-gaming. Because I had the 2018 style Magnum already in game, and I had it was mostly carryover from that. There was a lot of carryover, like all the wheel configurations, and frame of the tractor was all from the original Magnum. So a lot of it was from that, which is why it was. That's why I was the one that took lead in the mod, because most of it was mine. But there was definitely a lot of work done by Julian and SIID. And SIID helped me out making that, because I helped him with the John Deere 8RX tracks. So he wanted to return the favor, and he helped me with my mods. So that was a good time working with him. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, that's exactly. He does all the white and Alice stuff. Yep. And generally, I don't really enjoy the whole modeling aspect as much. What I really like doing is working on it in game, like having a model done for me, and being able to make the customization options, and in-game the whole thing. I love doing detailed interiors, making everything move and work beautifully, and numbers, and so I mostly enjoy the in-gaming aspect. But I don't mind the modeling portion as much anymore, because I'm getting better at it. But my strong suit definitely is not modeling, not yet. I don't think it'll ever be my strong suit, I guess. But I am going to get better at it. Yeah, he does a lot of good work. It was great to work with him, and he makes pretty good quality stuff. So, and he's a nice person to just chat with and talk to. He gets a little involved in the drama more than I like to, but I mean, it's his preference. So, and sometimes he can't avoid it. I would say I like the scripting side of it more, yeah. More than the modeling portion of it, anyway. I understand it better, that's probably why. I do love the idea of modeling something from scratch and making it into the game. It just feels more complete that way, but it's a lot of work to make it as high quality as I would like. Like custom modding, they do great high quality work. They have a team doing it, so it makes it a little bit nicer. If I had someone modeling everything for me, that'd be amazing. But it's not the case. Especially not only do they model everything on their own, they model it very good. They do everything very properly, where I wouldn't say I don't do things properly, but I don't do them as optimized as I possibly could. That's for sure. There's a lot of just techniques that I don't know yet when it comes to modeling, so. Right, and that's I definitely strive for the little details. I love those. I love the little details, like just being able to. Like this is JHG's mod, but like even like just opening windows and little things like that. I love the little details. The sounds. I do my own custom sounds for every mod I make. Even things like how the tires perform, how they act to the terrain, lighting, all the lights, make sure that they're illuminate all the areas they need to, and it's a lot of small details I like to focus on. Whiskey Sierra, yeah, I've seen some stuff from him. I feel like I've only seen trucks really. I don't pay that a lot of attention to, I guess. But I know I've talked to him in the past. I'll call that good. Hold that guy up. Oops. I agree. It's mostly the little details in mods that really make them the best that they could possibly be. Oh yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, he made that Maxim. Did that ever get on console, or did it get rejected because there was another mod similar to it or something like that? That's a frustrating thing with Mod Hub is they're pretty inconsistent with stuff they allow on there. Sometimes they allow duplicates of certain mods, and sometimes they don't, and it's hard enough reading all the requirements, let alone hidden requirements that you didn't know about. Okay, so you did get it on console. That's good to hear. Yeah, it's frustrating. It really is. Sometimes some days there's a requirement you have to meet, and some days you don't. It's very inconsistent. Right? Yeah. There's a lot of duplicates of a lot of different mods, but sometimes they don't even understand the difference between two tractors. I know NEFG tried to get his 2010 Magnum, his older style Magnum, and they said it was the same as mine. That was like 2018 version. They don't know the difference between tractors sometimes, and it's kind of sad, honestly. Yeah, I should watch that video. Probably be pretty funny to see all the duplicates they have. Hopefully my neighbors don't mind if I drive in their field. Steve's Mods case. I'm not familiar with that one. But that sounds very annoying. Actually, Ryan, that's a great idea. Easy mod, FS22 game box. They probably allow it. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's pretty frustrating. If that scenario where they wouldn't allow his and they uploaded someone else's later, that's super frustrating. I don't know the quality of his or whatever, but it's got to be frustrating. Sorry, I'm trying to get my head set up here. Hey, Diesel. Welcome. Oh, okay. I think I definitely know what you're talking about now. That tier 4. Yep. Wow. Pretty much named it something different to sneak it by him. That's so frustrating. And Giants doesn't know any better. I don't think they even know most tractor brands, what they look like, or tractor, not only tractor brands, but tractor like the models of tractors. They just don't. They don't know the difference. Like I said, they thought a 2010 case was the same as a 2018 case Magnum. It's not. It's not the same tractor. It was a completely different model. But they said that they wouldn't allow it because it was the same as mine. It just doesn't make any sense. It's frustrating when when modders put so much time into something and it gets rejected because Giants doesn't know what they're talking about, even though they're literally making a game called Farming Simulator. I think they should know everything there is, really, about different tractor brands and models. What brand would I like to see in the new game? I honestly don't use many more brands that are already in the game, so I really have no preference there. I don't know what brand isn't in the game yet that I would want to use. I generally only use Case and John Deere, some New Holland. Used a JCB in the past. Fendt in the past. There's not really any more brands that I would really want, I guess. Yeah, they definitely. I know they have the Kinsey brand. They just didn't make many options for it. Versatile. Okay, you're right. Yeah, I would like to see Versatile. I don't know if I'd use it, but those are pretty sweet tractors from what I've seen. Okay, you guys are opening up my mind here. I definitely would like to see some truck brands too, if that was possible. Even, I know it'd be pretty hard, but even some real-life car brands. That might be too hard. Usually they don't get on board with that kind of stuff, but yeah, I would definitely like to see some real life truck brands. Feel bad for console players that they can't get any real truck brands. Hey Shadow Games, appreciate it, man. Thanks for the kind words. Working on the Silage blade yet? Still got some modeling to do on the hoses. It's not, I can't say it's fun work, so I've been definitely dragging my feet on it, but I really want to get that done. I might update the Steiger series first with the 3D tracks. We'll see. I'm having a little more fun modeling or working with that right now, so. But yeah, Silage blade hopefully coming up soon. House Chalmers. Oh yeah. Some old. It would be nice to see some older equipment in the game too. A lot of folks like using older equipment. I really generally don't really use the older equipment, but it depends on how you grew up and what you're around and what you currently have. So it would be fun to start off with the older equipment and work your way up like that. But that's one thing they don't have is a lot of older style equipment. It definitely could add a lot more equipment-wise to the game. But I'm sure, don't get your hopes up for FS22, I'm sure they won't. Not any more than we've seen in the past from games. Great Plains equipment, I don't really use that either. I think that's just because I don't see a lot of it where I'm from. I don't see a lot of Great Plains stuff. I don't know where Great Plains is most popular, I suppose. I don't really see a lot of it. It would be a great addition to buy used equipment too. I'm not sure how they would implement it if just hire, like right now, I think there is a mod for it. I'm not sure how exactly it works, but obviously you'd need higher maintenance costs and maybe worn down paint and rust, but it would be cool to have a in-game option like that. It is fun, Shadow. I mean, it's a lot of fun to. It depends on what you consider fun, I guess. It's challenging, but it's still fun. Just working with the models of tractors and the accomplishment of getting them in game and working properly. But it's a lot of learning. Yeah, definitely. But thanks. I definitely love the Steiger series as well. Probably end up using it here on a stream eventually myself. But at the moment, I never really played with many John Deere mods. This is actually the first save, I guess, I've actually played consistently with John Deere tractors. Always have just used case, which is fine. And I do like using case more, but it's good to switch it up. And I grew up a lot around a lot of case and a lot of John Deere. So that's the two I'm most familiar with personally. It's good to hear, Cummins. I'm glad you use a lot of my mods too. I love hearing those stories too of people saying that once I came up with my mods, they actually switched to case from that, and that makes me smile, you know, because the Giants definitely, they were so focused on John Deere in this game that they didn't put any effort into the case Magnum for sure. Like I noted that in the past, all the differences between the Giants model and what the real life model. There's so many just small little issues with the in-game case Magnum. It's pretty sad to see. So glad that all the work I did, people definitely appreciate all the work that I put into it. Especially the Steiger series that's my favorite tractor series of all time. Like I love the wheel Steiger and quad track. So I definitely put a lot of time and effort into that mod, and that's why you see it to be so detailed and with a lot of configurations and options, and it's because I really enjoyed the project so much that I put the time and effort into adding those things. Yeah, I think, James, isn't there there's some kind of online system, I forget what it's called. It's like a online website that you can join as a member, and it's like a big server that you can sell equipment. I'm not sure how it works, but I thought there was something like that. But it would be cool to have something like that in game. It might get ruined. I don't think you could share between PC and console, because it would. And on PC you can modify the game however you want. You can add as much money as you want and stuff, so it wouldn't be really balanced. And I could see a lot of issues coming from that too. Is that confirmed that that case is the cover tractor for the North American FS22? I mean, I saw that on the cover, on the what's it? It's the special edition box that's on the cover. That would be cool if that's the case. I mean, I know they did show the picture of the new case Magnum as well, in that one screenshot. So maybe they will be putting some love back into case for this next game. Farm Sim Network, that's it, yep. That's the website you can use. I'm not sure how that all works. I've only heard about it, never really looked into it. Jonas, I hope that they add the Steiger in themselves. I'm hoping they do. If not, I'll probably I'm definitely gonna bring my AFS Connect Steiger series to next platform or next game if they don't have one themselves. That's probably one of the first things I'm gonna add. Thanks, Shadow. Shaders make this game 100 times more immersive. I love doing the comparison shots of without shaders and with shaders. It's mind-blowing how much more realistic it looks. I just like do this all the time while I'm playing. It's because I love the difference. Yeah, that is cool that Demco is now a brand as well. And custom modding's little partnership with them is pretty neat. Their grain cart is amazing. That Demco grain cart. I have one on this save, and one on my other save. It's just the detail is amazing. Especially the tarp animation. I love it. I'm running my own custom shader setup on this one right now. I have been. I mean, I don't know if you're familiar with Reshade at all, but yeah, it's my own custom settings. In game, you turn them off using. I have it set up as numlock, but I think it might be different for think you have to decide what to choose it as. I don't know if it's set up like that right off the start or not. I am planning on sharing my shader setup eventually. I'm always constantly tweaking it. I think I'm finally happy with it as it is now. But everyone has their own preferences, really. So I'm definitely considering sharing this setup that I have currently. Because I'll probably use it for a little bit longer and see if I want to make any more tweaks to it. Like, obviously, I want to make it as realistic as possible. But it all comes down to your preference. And I think this looks pretty darn good. Big Dog Gaming. Hey, it's going good, man. Had a good time. Relaxing here. Nice Saturday afternoon. How are you doing? Especially in the cab. I love seeing the shader difference in the cab as well. Like having the ambient occlusion. It makes everything look so much more realistic. Mostly the shadows darkening that makes the biggest difference. Oh, nice. How was the fishing trip? Did you catch much? Devo! You know what's going on, man? It's been a while since I talked to you guys. Alright, James. Yeah. Glad to see you stop by. You have a good night. Well, sorry to hear that, big dog. The parallax occlusion. Pretty much, I mean, they're somewhat like that already in this game. Is that right? I mean, I think, to me, the ground textures didn't look a whole lot different. Oops, I'm still going. But I mean, I don't mind if it looks better. That's good. Gotta focus here. What I was really hoping for in the new game is actual ground deformation. I was really hoping for it, especially since they delayed the game a year. Thought they were going to put a lot more effort into that, because that's like one of the biggest things I think that's missing, is ground interaction. Like, I'm using the added realism for vehicles, which adds a little bit in regards to like interaction with the ground, but it's seriously lacking. This game is seriously lacking with ground interaction, and there's games out there that we already know can do it, like Mud Runner. Having those kind of physics in Farming Simulator it would change the game. That would make the new game 100% worth it. Same here, Devo. Same here. It's been chilling. What do you mean the new mods, big dog? The new mods. I'm always working on some mod. right now it's still my Steiger series, the silage blade, and then I also have a new dump trailer that I've been working on. I haven't made much progress on that recently, but it'll be my next big release after the blade. Yeah, like the field work is definitely, like I said, with the added realism mod, it's a little bit more realistic. It actually feels like you're pulling something because the tires spin a little bit. But yeah, there's definitely lacking in the realism department when it comes to ground interaction. And SnowRunner too, yeah, that's another one. I don't really have too much interest in playing those games, but I do really love the physics. The physics are pretty awesome. I really want to see something like that in farming sim. It's probably not easy, I'm sure it's not, but it would add a whole nother element to the game. Yeah, Phil, you're probably right when they ended their little contract with their, I don't know what they even were to them with Focus though. They probably there's probably a lot going on internally with that whole the whole exchange, you want to call it. But I heard it also had something to do with the new console release too. But that might have just been an excuse by their part. But either way, I was hoping with that delay that there was going to allow them to add more to the game, but we'll see. I don't know all the information yet, so. I'm playing on Mercer County. MERCER. Believe it's by MRG. I get the map makers confused all the time. Either that or Dean's. D-I... I don't know how to spell that. One of those two made it. Or they might have worked on it together. I'm not sure. And I'll probably end up showing off my silage blade and tipper in game here during these streams sometime. Today's just gonna be a gameplay video. I might just end it after I get done with this field. Honestly, I'm not sure. Depends if I can plant yet or not. I'll check that afterwards. I'm hoping they did take that time to work on the game. If they didn't, that's pretty frustrating, honestly. And if the game isn't extraordinarily different, like if the gameplay is still, I mean the gameplay is obviously gonna be farming, but it doesn't, from what I see so far, it doesn't really look like there's that much of an improvement gameplay wise. And if that's the case, I'm probably gonna stick to 19 for a while I update all my mods. Because, I mean, it's the hardest part going into the new game is going to be not having all the nice, awesome mods that I have now. Yeah. Yeah, I think MRG and Tyson worked on it together. He might have did it first, and then MRG came by and worked on it to improve it. I think something like that happened. There was an original version, and this is like the new version, essentially. All done. Yeah, the new track tool by KarlFarms is amazing. I was blown away by how simple it was to use. I thought it was definitely going to be a little more involved. It was so easy to make a new track array. Yeah, it just comes down to having belts, and I'm looking into that now. I'm getting a lot better at modeling the new belts too. I'm finally starting to learn how to do normal maps. It's on my Steiger series road track. I had custom belts made for that, but they didn't have normal maps. So I was just using the default normal. It definitely didn't look as good, so just last few days been working on making normal maps for those two new tracks I created, and so far actually turning out really well. It looks so much better. I just might have to go show those off because it's just a huge difference. All right, I think that's all my fields for the cultivated round. Yep. Now, see if I can. What's the button? There it is. Can't quite yet plant corn. I just realized I've been playing on 1x speed this whole time. But I guess I might as well get that hooked up, since that's what I'm going to be doing next. Go back in here. Probably hook up my tanks first. Hey, Robert. Thanks. Yeah, it's been a while since I streamed last, so... Yeah, I haven't streamed since I started getting into shaders. Definitely makes the game look a lot better. I think all ready to go for planting. I'll fast forward to the next day. Should have been the next day already, probably, since was only on 1x speed. What mods am I running for Ultimate Realism? Definitely Seasons is like the #1 for Ultimate Realism. After that, I mean, Gearbox mod, it's really only good for if you have a joystick set up. Realism. Obviously added realism for vehicles, it's kind of in the name. Just makes it so makes it so your tires spin, you can get stuck. And that adds a great deal of realism. And I think even the GPS mod adds a lot of realism, just because that's nearly everyone uses GPS nowadays. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, that was a while ago now, wasn't it? Seems like it wasn't too long ago, but I was back earlier in this year. I didn't know that was you, Robert. How's that big bud been treating you? Little doggy. Oh, little poggy. Hello. Let's see, what other mods are good for realism? I do really like, actually these bins. Well, I don't know if these ones are particular, but there's certain bins that only allow one type of grain at a time. And I think that's super realistic. Because you obviously can't store more than one type of grain in most grain bins. So all the ones that Giants have ever released, if you can hold as much as you want in pretty much a single grain bin. So that's one of those just simple mods that add a lot to it. Makes you think about how much storage you have rather than just dumping everything into a giant bin. You've never used GPS on 19? I can't play without it. I mean, I can, it's just not as enjoyable. Oh, yep. I believe it. Trucking is in full swing. Is it usually peak in summertime, or when's trucking the most busy? I was thinking about Nate. Yeah, I don't really generally like to do that. I suppose I could add it as a configuration, since I already have configuration options on my end dumps. Since I already have the cover configurations change all the I could try to sneak one in there. Only thing is I'm gonna have to make it so the weight doesn't get adjusted, because you obviously wouldn't be able to pull that much grain, I don't think. I'll consider it, adding that as an option. Maybe maybe I'll just have it onto my my new trailers that I'm currently working on, which is this. Calling it like it's a smooth side dump trailer. It's modeled after the East Genesis trailers. I'm changing. The name is not final or anything. I'm still working on what exactly it's gonna be called and everything, but it's gonna be under my own brand. But I love the color configurations that you can add to this. I always go with this dark red. I also have the silage extensions, which look really nice. You can make these any color you want to. This trailer is definitely gonna have a lot more customization options and small little features like that. And you have your tarp system, which has a really awesome cover opening animation as well. I don't want to buy it on this save, but I can go to a different save and open it if you guys want to see that. But then also have the bulk extensions to allow any crop. And the capacity might not be final. That was just what I put in here for now. Oh, okay, that makes sense. That you would be busy now probably mostly during the spring then and summer. You're hauling chemicals around. The wheel configurations are still a work in progress on this one. I have some of them ready to go, but a lot of them, the flaps don't go in the right spot and stuff. This is definitely a work in progress yet. This is the one I've generally used with the tag axle in the middle. Or lift axle, what do you want to call it? Like that's screwed up, obviously. And the 8-axle configuration. Does look really good, really clean. I love the look of this trailer though. I'm excited to get back into working on it again. You can even choose different sidewalls. Choose a ruffled sidewall is what I called it. Between ruffled and grooved. Well, there's lots of little things like that. I think it looks really good. And also, I also have a fill display option right now. I'm not sure if I want to keep this or not. What do you guys think of that on a dump trailer? I don't think it's very realistic, personally, but it is useful to see sometimes. I'm not sure if there is something like this on many dump trailers. Obviously, in real life, it would show the weight more or less, but. Then also obviously have the rear attacher in the back as an option. What else we got here? There's light options too. Where are those? There they are. So you can have a lot of running lights in this thing too. These aren't final yet too. I think this one's kind of screwed up. It's a lot of work setting up all these little lights. But you can have the full trailer full of lights. And there's two different styles. So there's these round ones. I also have these like kind of oval shaped ones. Yep, this is the Michigan Special, that's for sure. I love how many people see this and they go, why do you have so many axles? What's the point of that? And I never really thought twice about it because I'm so used to seeing them. But it's Michigan for you. But yeah, that's pretty much all there is to this so far. There's also a bunch of different mud flap options. Where are those at? There we go. Can change these to be solid, and they also have running lights on them. But yeah, it's a work in progress. I still like this version's for the most part is done. There's still like obviously little things I need to fix on it. Add few more wheel configurations and fix the lights and a lot of little details. But I also want to make shorter and long. No, this is the longest version. Want to make shorter versions. Currently this is the 48 foot. I want to make probably 4 other lengths down to like the size of a pup trailer. But yeah, that's my next mod after the silage blade. The silage blade is coming along. It is done. Like I said, I already submitted it to Giants. It's just they rejected it. They want me to fix up the hoses and make the hoses a little bit less detailed in a way, so it doesn't take as much. So it's not as high of a poly count. It's pretty much the same thing as the original Pitbull. A few more details on it. And I am probably going to make a video just displaying how the lift animation works and everything on this. And I have all the dynamic hoses set up so they all bend properly. And just got to finish this one up. It's almost done. Yeah, because you can kind of see the difference between the old one and the new one. The old one doesn't have as many hoses, and it's kind of just not as detailed of a model. Plus, I have the dirt and wear maps are going to be a lot better on this version, this new version. And the functionality of it is also better, just because this one features a different type of lift system. It's easier to control, a lot easier to use in the actual game. Moving silage, you don't have to. I know on the other one, like the controls are all set up so they're all separate, and you have to lift each way it lifts is a different control, and it's really kind of difficult sometimes to lower it properly. It's a lot easier with the new version. But those are only really 2 mods, new mods that I'm working on at the moment. I think that's going to wrap this stream up. I finished all the fields I wanted to get to, and it's next up is just planting and waiting for ground to get a little bit warmer for planting corn. So hopefully I keep this up. Hopefully I stream some more after this. Like I said, I do like interacting with you guys and just having some nice relaxing gameplay going on, showing you guys what I'm working on. Probably going to do some modding in the future on stream too, which is always fun. Alright guys, yeah, thanks for joining. See you next time.